Okay, this video is going to cover how to change a tire. So obviously you want to have your tire that you're going to put on handy, nice and close. You don't want to have the vehicle jacked for as short of a period of time as you can. So I have everything at the ready. And as I always say, you know, the biggest thing here is you don't want to get hurt doing any of this. So you want to have your gear handy, and you don't want to be in any way in a position where if anything falls, it's going to fall on you. Big thing is the vehicle falling obviously is serious, but a lot more serious if it falls on yourself. So you want to have, this is a 2005 Pontiac Sunfire. It comes equipped with a scissor jack, which is this. As you turn it, this handle here, turn that handle clockwise, you can see the jack is going up here. So check your owner's manual. It'll tell you where you can jack. We're doing the front driver's side tire here. Now, when you consult the manual, it'll tell you that, okay, there's the tire. Just try to get a perspective here. See if I can turn this around a bit. Here's our rocker panel, the door, the rocker panel. And it'll tell you that underneath the rocker panel, hopefully you can see this, is an arrow indicating the place to jack. Now what they're referring to is this reinforced metal piece right along here. So the groove of the jack goes on this. It'll fit in. I'll show you in a minute. Now why they put this arrow underneath here where nobody can see it is beyond me. I would have thought that it would be on the side here where somebody could see it. But anyway, that's where you're going to want to jack. Okay, the jack is in place. You want a good solid piece of wood or something to put underneath that jack because the ground can be uneven, and I've heard situations of jacks actually, the ground underneath them giving out, even on a paved driveway. There was a guy killed not far from here where the jack gave out in the paved driveway. So you put a big piece of wood like that, something to disperse the whole weight of the vehicle, is what you want to do. And I don't know if that can show very well, but there's the lip of the jack underneath that reinforced area we were talking about there. Also, the emergency brake is on, and if you really want to be efficient, you can block the wheels to make sure it's not going to roll. So anyway, the emergency brake should take care of that as long as the emergency brake is good. So then, I think as I said, you start turning this clockwise. Okay, so the jack is in place. This particular vehicle has a aluminum rim on it. If you got one of these, you'll see a notch here. You can just put a screwdriver in there and just start gently easing that out. I'm going to need my two hands for this, but as you do it, just take another screwdriver, and just kind of go along the exposed edge there. Actually, maybe it'll stay out. Just kind of go like that along the edge, pop that out. So I took a little bit of weight of the vehicle on the jack. It's still in place there, but you only want to take it up a little bit. Now what we want to do, take your wheel wrench, put it on a lug nut, and start loosening these off. But so the weight of the vehicle is still on this wheel. That's why you don't want to jack it and then try doing this, because if they're tight, the wheel's going to spin and it's going to put some force on the drive shaft and everything. So while the weight of the vehicle is still on it, loosen this off. I'm going to have to stop recording to do that. And just take them, loosen them like one turn is fine. Just got to make sure that they're not. Okay, just a quick note. This first lug nut here, the wrench, I had a bit of a time getting it back off. So if you're not, hopefully you're not doing this along the side of the road, broke down somewhere, but take a bit of lubricant there and give them a spray, and then your wheel wrench will just pop right off of them. Anyway, so I've loosened this one, just one turn, which is fine. I'm going to leave that one turn. You just want them loose enough so that when you jack it, pop them off, no problem. Okay, so just jack it until you can turn that wheel, which I can't right now. So, a couple more turns on it. You can see the wheel, the pressure of it coming off as it's jocked. I think we might be all right there. Yeah, so now, as you can see, I can turn that. So the weight of the vehicle's off it, and I'll take it up just a bit more, just in case the winter tire that's going on it is a little bigger, a little extra space. And like I say, never hurts to have a block handy, which you will remove when you start to release that jack, just in case anything happens. Okay, the lug nuts are off. Put them aside somewhere where you're not going to lose them. The wheel pops off like so. Okay, again, this is something you're not going to worry about if you're changing a tire along the side of the road, but if you're just doing like I'm doing here and putting winter tires on, this anti-seize compound is great stuff. Keep your tire from, or your rim rather, from seizing up against the hub and the rotor. A little of that. Then I just give the lug nuts a little dab there. If you're doing like I'm doing here and putting on winter tires, give a look, and you'll see rotation marked on them. Some tires can be directional, a lot of them aren't, but in this case, this has rotation and an arrow right there moving in this direction. So obviously in the direction that that the car is generally moving, in a forward direction, so the tire should be just follow that arrow. In this case it's correct, so we get a rotational tire here. Sorry, directional tire. So start tightening the nuts up. Vehicle's still jacked, so all you're doing here is just getting them a little bit snug like that for the moment. Good idea to get in the habit of doing a crisscross pattern, because what you want to do with anything, particularly wheels, when you're putting them on, is you want to get this one a little bit tight, go to the one directly opposite, get that a little tight, put that one just a little tight, and then go in the same way and start tightening them evenly. That way everything gets all tightened up instead of one being snapping tight over on this side and this one loose, and that tends to bend things. Okay, so I've been tightening them all up in a crisscross pattern, like I say. Now I'm just tightening them up there, up like that. That's tight enough to be able to put the wheel back down. Okay, so if you put a block under there, which hopefully you did, move that aside and start going lefty-loosey with your jack. Okay, so once you have the jack removed, the wheel is back sitting on the ground, the weight of the vehicle is sitting on the wheel. Now you want to tighten these up again a bit more, so you want to do the crisscross pattern. Now I've taken a torque wrench here. I've changed tires for decades on my own vehicles without one of these torque wrenches, but basically just do your crisscross pattern here to tighten these up. But if you have a torque wrench, that is good, because you can set the amount of tension on the bolt, and according to the manual for this vehicle, it's 100 foot-pounds. So I set that on this wrench. Okay, so I've gone around my crisscross pattern, tightening up the bolts. I don't know if this is worth doing or not, but it might give you a rough idea of what kind of pressure you want to put on. That's a long wrench. You'll hear the click of the wrench when I hear 100 foot-pounds. So if I just take it up like that, so my point is, you want them tight, obviously, to be safe, but not try to put them on too tight and you're gonna strip them, right? So, but you can tell from the, you know, I'm lifting on that, and that's 100 foot-pounds on that. So anyway, that's it for changing a tire. I'll stick the wheel cover on that and be done.